All right, rain. It brings hope to farmers, life to the land, and relief to parched communities. But in Mokwa, Niger State, the rains turned into a nightmare. Unrelenting downpours triggered one of the worst flooding disasters the state has witnessed in recent history. Now, leaving behind a trail of heartbreak and devastation. More than 4,000 homes were swept away, and nearly 200 lives were tragically lost. Families displaced, communities submerged, and dreams shattered in the wake of the disaster. Our correspondent Musa Baba Aliu visited Mokwa and brought this emotional toll for Newsline.
This small stream has been identified as the source of the devastating flood that struck the Angwan Hausawa community in Mokwa local government area of Niger State. Witnesses report that the heavy rain on Wednesday night caused the stream to overflow its banks, resulting in a powerful and relentless surge of water. The sheer strength of the flow swept away anything in its path, leaving a path of destruction behind. Dozens of homes were completely washed away, creating vast emptiness where buildings once stood. It was reported that more than 200 houses were completely swept away by the ravaging flood.
One factor that compounded the situation here in Angwan Hausawa is lack of planning. It was discovered that most of the houses here were built on waterways.
It is. Water used to pass here, even right away before we were born. And according to our forefathers, they give us history that this place, there was a water that was passing before. And I don't know, the people that came and organized Mokwa here, they said this water, no matter how long it takes, it will still come find its way. So as this thing happened now, to me, that I was told, it wasn't a surprise to me.
In the aftermath, the community is left grappling with profound sorrow and confusion as the victims processes their immense loss. As at the time of my visit to the area, 200 bodies have been recovered and buried. The tragedy has profoundly affected Hassan Usman, revealing the heartbreaking toll that the flood has taken. With 15 family members, 10 were buried, 5 are still missing. My younger brother here lost his wife and 3 kids, he says. Fatima and her sister's account of 12 family members who lost their lives echoes this sorrow, highlighting the widespread impact of the disaster.
My mother, our children, and our siblings lost their lives in the flood, along with the brides who we are scheduled to marry this week.
The miraculous survival of this blind man, while his neighbors perished, serves as a stark reminder of how unpredictable the nature can be. Meanwhile, at this Islamic school, the situation is bleak, with around 50 children having been at the facility before the flood. It seems almost all are now missing, raising deep concerns for their safety and well-being. Although many see the disaster as an act of divine will, they remain hopeful for assistance from government authorities at all levels.
Yes, we want help, material help, food, building materials, clothes for our people, because a lot of them that survive it, many of them didn't come out with a single, except those clothes that they wore.
We are looking for a way that will have solution for them, which they won't be suffering again.
Yet, amidst this suffering, there is glimmer of hope. The survivors clinch to faith in better days ahead.
Now, the word horrendous barely captured the chilling discovery that shook the quiet community of Izago in Enugu State. Now, on what should have been a joyful Children's Day, tragedy struck when a 13-year-old girl, full of hopes and dreams, was kidnapped and buried alive in what is now described as a dungeon of death. Miraculously, her faint cries for help pierced through the silence and led to her rescue. A rescue that will unveil a gruesome network of kidnapping and suspected ritual killings allegedly operated by a native doctor within that community. Now, what began as a child's fight for survival has now blown open, a dark and terrifying underworld that leaves many asking, how deep does this evil run? Here is Susan Eze with the story of resilience, rescue, and the urgent call for justice.
Prime suspect in this underground criminality is one Levi Onyeka Obu, popularly known as Ezani or Ideplay Ideshow. Before the disturbing discovery, he was known in his community as a popular native doctor who belonged to a club known for their display of wealth and affluence at functions.
Oh, God of mercy.
The bubble, however, burst following the kidnap of a 13-year-old girl who was on her way to the farm with her father on Monday, the 26th of May, 2025. In the early hours of Tuesday, 27th May, a search party traced the girl through her cries to the premises of Mr. Levi Obu, the native doctor, where she was found buried alive in a pit. Further search revealed a bigger horror.
In the shrine of the prime suspect, who immediately fled the scene, right in there are pits, are holes holding two corpses, identified as a male and as a female. The little girl was to be the third person. So we were able to work with the community members, the neighborhood watch group, and ensured that so far so good, we've arrested 3 of them directly connected to this crime.
He disguises as a native doctor, but in actual sense, he's a kidnapper, he's a murderer, he's a ritualist. It is an opportunity to check the real identity of herbalists, those who are herbalists and those who are criminals.
This building is going down.
In line with the state law, the buildings were promptly demolished by the Enugu state government.
That hard room is constructing there. Had even finished that, the people will be missing in this village every time. So, but God nipped it at the bud, so that what he has in mind for this village, this community, and Enugu state in general didn't come to pass.
Government officials and the police, led by the Enugu CP, Maman Beatrice Giwa, visited the site, describing the breakthrough achieved through the combined efforts of the local vigilante and security operatives as a visible dividend of community policing.
Evil is not often written on the faces of people. In your community, we could have people like this. You see something, you say something.
While the fleeing prime suspect has been reportedly arrested while trying to leave the country, investigations are still ongoing, and according to the authorities, justice must be fully served.
There's no hiding place for those who perpetrate evil. Now let me take you to the quiet wards of Aminu Kano Teaching Hospital, where a quiet miracle is unfolding, and it's one that's given hope where there was despair, saving limbs once marked for amputation and restoring dignity to lives threatened by diabetic wounds. Now, it may sound unusual, even unsettling, but this medical breakthrough draws from ancient wisdom. Live maggots, yes, they're now at the heart of a healing revolution known as maggot debridement therapy. Now, this treatment, reinforced at the hospital in Kano in 2020, is changing the outcome for patients who once had few options left. Here is Elizabeth Yila Lamido as she brings us this deeply moving report on a therapy that defines the odds and, of course, redefines hope for diabetic patients in Kano. We highly advise viewer discretion.
Honestly, that thing is just like a miracle, because you see, they will bring some small quantity of these maggots. They will put bandage and everything. I think the following morning, they removed this thing. The maggot had become so big.
In 2020, 62-year-old Bashir Shuaibu battled a severe diabetic foot ulcer that defied conventional treatment. But a breakthrough came when a team led by Associate Professor Mustafa Ahmad Yusuf, an entomologist at Aminu Kano Teaching Hospital, introduced him to a centuries-old alternative, maggot debridement therapy. Bashir recounts how his left foot was saved in 2020. 2 years later, when a similar infection struck his right foot, the same therapy once again spared him from amputation. Known medically as maggot debridement therapy or larval debridement therapy, the method has long been practiced in Europe and parts of Asia, but its remarkable success in northern Nigeria is now drawing national interest and acclaim.
It's not easy to convince people to allow maggots applied on their wounds. My professors or my trainers actually told me to start with wounds that have been condemned, that have been subjected for amputation. And when I came in 2020, that was what actually happened. And that was where the success story came up from. So people now started seeing what these little creatures, the wonders that they perform, and then many people started keying into it.
The treatment is deceptively simple, yet profoundly effective. Sterile larvae of Lucilia sericata, bred in controlled laboratory conditions, are carefully applied to the infected wounds. Over a series of sessions, the maggots feed on dead tissues while releasing enzymes that disinfect and promote healing. Malam Aminu Ismail from Taura local government area of Jigawa State is currently undergoing the therapy. After just 2 sessions, he says his wound has shrunk significantly, a sign of real progress.
From getting my leg amputated to it becoming healed, I have to be very happy, because as a farmer, I need my legs to be able to farm.
Since the therapy's introduction at AKTH 5 years ago, nearly 200 patients, mostly with diabetic foot ulcers, have been treated successfully. For many, like Bashir and Aminu, it was a choice between maggots and amputation. They chose hope and walked away healed.
Aminu Kano Teaching Hospital is the pioneer to have commenced larval therapy, and then we hope to expand it to other centers.
With growing demand and promising results, Aminu Kano Teaching Hospital is now planning to establish a dedicated medical entomology center and specialized wards for patients undergoing maggot therapy, signaling a bold new chapter in limb-saving medicine.
Wow. Slimy, creepy, absolutely, but curative. Maggots do save. You're watching Newsline. All right, thank you for joining us again if you've just tuned in. Now let me take you to the ancient town of Ganye in Adamawa State as it came alive with thousands gathered to honor the Gangwari Ganye II, Umaru Adamu Sanda, on his 25th anniversary on the throne. Now among the dignitaries who graced the colorful occasion is King Apolochu, the Egberi Emere Kweri, and Onyencha of Eleme Kingdom in Rivers State. Accompanied by fellow traditional rulers from across Nigeria, his presence far from home speaks volumes of his deep commitment to national unity, cultural integration, and fostering of peace among Nigeria's diverse ethnic groups. Simon Archer was in Ganye, where he reports for Newsline.
The Silver Jubilee celebrates a quarter century of the transformative leadership of Gangwari Ganye II, Alhaji Umaru Adamu Sanda, ushering in an era of peace, unity, and development of the chiefdom.
Let us all imbibe the spirit of peace, unity so that our chiefdom, our state, our country can forge ahead.
The celebration was a colorful display of the chamber culture, music, and dance, showcasing the rich cultural heritage of the people and Nigeria as a nation. Beyond the pop and pageantry, it was a moment of human spirit of friendship, loyalty, and love as friends, family members, royal fathers, including Governor Ahmadu Finthi of Adamawa State, General Chiwa Danjuma retired, and King Apollos Chu, among other dignitaries, gathered to share their joy with the revered monarch.
Today, we are not only marking 25 years of a royal journey, but we are also reaffirming our commitment to traditional institutions as custodian of our values and partners in development.
May God Almighty continue to protect you, prolong your life, and extend your relationship.
The presence of King Apollos Chu, the Ebere Emere Okere, and Ene Enichi of River State is a testament to the strong bond of affection and solidarity between the Ganwari Ganye and King Apollos Chu, an indication of commitment to cultural harmony, religious tolerance, and peaceful coexistence of the nation. King Apollos Chu's destabilized disposition was deepened by the show of national unity, demonstrating that traditional rulers can transit geographical boundaries and forge a common ground for national cohesion.
To honor a stew and honor a kingdom, a man of peace and a man of unity, a nationalist, a man who will bring all Nigerians here. He also tell you the character of that personality. May you live long and reign on your throne for now and forever. In Jesus' name we pray.
High point of the memorable celebration was the conferment of the highest traditional title of Ganpan, meaning the shield and the defender of the people of the chiefdom on General Chiwa Danjuma retired by the Ganwari Ganye, Alhaji Umaru Adamu Sanda.
Welcome back now from the barracks to the grassroots, from salutes to beads. Brigadier General Biodo is truly a general with extra stripes. He has won many cups, military, civic, and now royal. After dodging bullets for the nation as a soldier, he swapped uniforms once again. Now this time to serve his community through peace and policing. Now, as crowned traditional leader, the Brigadier General retired steps into a new chapter of service. And yes, his turbaning in Abuja wasn't just an event, it was a full-blown celebration, and our own iron-hearted Annie Daniels was there for us on Newsline.
We are not the local government in Osun State, and we have our boys there. They are on patrol day and night, and we have arrested so many criminals, which we have handed over to the police.
He is right. Osun State residents attest to sleeping with their two eyes closed, thanks to Amotekun. In recognition of this feat and several others, Brigadier General Adewinbi Abiodun was recently honored with a chieftaincy title by his kinsmen, with yet another one in his kitty, this time by the Sarauniya Women Development Initiatives and affiliates of the African Women Traditional Title Holders for his contributory roles in promoting the rights of women and children and empowering hundreds of them.
It has somehow Arewa me. I'm a Yoruba man, but I belong to Arewa now. Whatever is happening in Arewa land, you heard what they told me there. I must play my role, and I have determined I will play my role. I will support them. Whenever there's need for me to act, I don't even need to wait for them.
And on what he intends to do next.
I will buy at least 50 forms for the students of the kingdom to benefit from this ongoing free tuition fee of science school.
Several women who have left nothing to chance, ensuring they give the less privileged a sense of belonging, irrespective of religion, age, ethnicity, were also honored as queens of Wazobia.
The Hausas, the Yorubas, the Igbos, and even the smaller groups
and tribes are coming together in the name of this Wazobia, and we shall do the best we can to bring more unity among our people.
When they turbaned the first woman, there were a lot of doors that opened. I'm sure that whenever I hear their name, it will be one good thing or another that they have done.
I believe that a lot of women also will emulate what they have done to showcase themselves, because they say no woman, no nation.
This initiative is the brainchild of a woman, described by many as a true Nigerian, a trailblazer, and a philanthropist. Ambassador Aishat Yerima Issa Dahiru, the Queen Mother of Wazobia worldwide. For her tireless efforts at improving the living standard of everyone she encounters, the African Institute of Commonwealth University conferred on her an honorary doctorate degree. To say Nigerian women are living out their dreams will be stating the obvious, and they say they are determined to keep giving their best to the society.
Thank you, Annie Daniels. Now, the Brigadier General will not just be taking orders, he'll be taking beads and blessings. Now, as modernization sweeps through Nigeria, many communities are finding innovative ways to preserve and showcase their heritage. In the riverine town of Makumi, located in Ogun Waterside, local government area of Ogun State, what was once a symbol of ancient warfare has been transformed into a cultural spectacle and a growing tourist attraction. Now, the people of Makumi, surrounded by water and rich in maritime history, recently celebrated the Okosi Festival. It's a vibrant boat regatta that brings to life their ancestors' legacy. The highlight of the event is the display of an ancient war canoe, now repurposed to tell the story of resilience, identity, and pride. Newsline's Anthony Gondolno brings us the sights and sounds of this heritage revival.
Makumi is the last Ijebu town on land southeast of Ogun State that shares boundary with Atijere in Ondo State and has a direct link to Lagos to the west. The age-long festival of the people that attracts visitors from far and near is Okoshi Festival, the rowing of a beautifully decorated boat used as a war boat in the ancient times by age groups who are usually gaily dressed, while traditional music with heavy percussion is provided by the Elisha group. Giving more insight to the history behind Okoshi Festival, the Oshobia of Makunwomi Kingdom, His Royal Majesty Oba Kazeem Adesina Salami, the Ilufemi Loba I, while addressing guests and tourists, highlighted some of the benefits that the festival has attracted to the riverine community.
Anytime we celebrate Okoshi, a lot of good things comes to Makun. Like when our father started, normally in the story, Okoshi is a war boat that when our people go to war, that is what they use to go and fight the war. And since then, we'll be celebrating. And we now discover that each time we celebrate Okoshi, good things comes to Makun.
In addition, the festival, according to some indigenes of the town, includes a veteran broadcaster who is also the chairman Makunwomi Development Initiative Coordinating Committee. Otumba Gbenga Onoiga is a melting point for both the old and young inhabitants of Makunwomi, where prayers were offered to rid the land of diseases and untimely deaths.
It is becoming a major tourist event in Ogun State and in Nigeria because this Okoshi is unique. It's a kind of thing that brings joy, happiness, and we so much believe in it that once we have it like this, all the hindrances, the problems that are tied to the community will be waived off.
While the males were busy sailing the boats offshore and onshore, backing up with the Elisha traditional music group, their female counterparts cheered them from the bank of the river. Interestingly, the children were not left out of the celebration as they also joined their fathers with separate undecorated boats, rowing, diving into the river, swimming and catching fun. Chairman of the occasion, Honorable Joseph Adegbeson, among other dignitaries, commended the organizers for the initiative and pledged their commitment to support the annual festival. High point of the festival included paying homage to the Oshobia of Makun Kingdom by different age groups and associations, as well as offering royal blessings on the entire Makunmi indigene. Okoshi Festival is indeed a veritable platform to boost tourism in Ogun State and Nigeria if well harnessed.
All right, let's take another break. Newsline will continue in just a moment. This is Newsline. Now, it was more than a reunion. It was a heartfelt homecoming. As members of the 2000 set of Federal Government College, Sokoto, returned to their alma mater to mark 25 years since graduation. Not just to relive old memories, but to give back to the institution that helped shape their lives. From far and wide, former classmates came together, united by shared history and a renewed sense of purpose to support ongoing efforts to uplift their beloved Unity School and contribute to the broader goal of improving education in Nigeria. Sadia Umar Digi captures the emotions.
1,000 sets of Federal Government College FGC Sokoto are returning to where it all began, their beloved alma mater, to mark their 25th anniversary in grand style. This reunion was not just about swapping old gist or arguing over who was once the best striker on the pitch. The class of 2000 came bearing gifts, restoring male and female toilets with modern systems, fixing the roof of one of the dormitories, donating sanitary pads to female students and supplying notebooks to the college in what can best be described as a blend of fun and giving back. The atmosphere was electric as a novelty football match was played between the old students and current students, a match filled with fun, and in true alumni fashion, the old students edged out a 1-0 victory, providing some moves never made with time. At sunset, the celebration switched gears to an elegant dinner where members from near and far were honored. There were cheers, applause, and cherry-eyed moments as awards of excellence were presented to the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, the President General, the State Chapter Chairman, and distinguished member of the 2000 set.
It took a lot from us, but we thank the Almighty that we were able to pull this through.
I would advise them to hold on together, this unity that all these FGC schools are known for.
Because education is key to nation building. It's central to quality of governance and will develop us as a nation. So we must continue to advocate for good quality education.
This is a good example to all the students, both old and the students that are in the school. We want you to copy what these people are doing.
The night crown moment, the cutting of the silver jubilee cake, a sweet symbolic reminder of friendship, unity, and enduring bonds.
Now, you know, love they say knows no borders. Now, it was a heartwarming tale of love, one that blossomed far from home for Sandra and Detala, whose path first crossed in the United Kingdom, drawn together by a shared passion for learning and growth. Now, it began as an academic journey, but soon turned into a deeper bond. And it's one that led them to the altar. And Elizabeth Omoroye was there at the Shepherd House International Church, Apo, here in Abuja, where the couple exchanged their vows. The bride, Sandra, is the daughter of barrister Uzo Ozodi, former general manager of NTA Calabar.
Decades ago, he asked for his wife's hand in marriage. And in the year 2025, as a proud father, he is giving out his daughter to a heartthrob. Sandra and Adetola are ready for the new chapter of their lives as husband and wife.
To be my lawful wedded husband. Come on, give the Lord a clap. Can you unveil her to be sure?
Pastor Francis of the Shepherd House Assembly International, APO, in his words of admonition, urged Sandra and her husband to always communicate effectively, listen to each other, and see beyond their flaws. Signing the marriage register officially sealed their marriage. After the service, guests and well-wishers headed to the venue of the reception for entertainment. And here comes the couple. They first met in the United Kingdom, then developed a friendship, and now a family has been birthed.
She really entered my heart by her relentless pursuit of greatness and excellence.
He's a very sincere and hardworking person, very responsible too. That's what strikes me about him.
So, what makes marriage successful?
Marriage is an institution that has no particular way of working. Once they have unity of purpose, they will go high in life.
Respectful to her husband, to always know what he or she wants to say at any point in time.
I wish them happy marriage. I wish them success.
And I pray may God bless them with my fellow children.
So we wish them the best of the family setup, like their father or their parents.
Typical of the NTA family, representation is never a task, always available, through thick and thin. After the reception, traditional wedding rites were performed and prayers offered for the couple.
You know, what marriage does, it's a bridge, it's a unifier. Now, as President Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration reaches its midterm, waves of support are emerging from Nigerians in the diaspora who are inspired by his leadership and developmental strides. Now, in a heartwarming show of solidarity, members of the Nigerian community in China have thrown their weight behind the president, calling for continuity beyond 2027. Now, at the inauguration of the China chapter of the All Progressives Congress, the newly appointed chairman, Ade Peters Olanrewaju Oba, led party faithful to pledge loyalty to the APC, while also calling for unity and prosperity within the party. Political correspondent Abubakar Kwanga brings us the story from Beijing.
It is 2 years already into the Tinubu's presidency, and as Nigerians count down to 2027, the ovation of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration is getting louder from the diaspora community, with the China chapter of the party at the center stage of the performance of the renewed Hope Agenda. Now, the primary event, which is to inaugurate officials of the party in China by the Deputy National Chairman North of the party, who performed the assignment, while a legal practitioner, Dr. Siraju Yakubu, administered oath of allegiance to the party officials.
And the people of Nigeria and the people of Nigeria, so help me God, so help me God. go home and cast their votes for APC candidates at all levels during the election. Strengthen Nigerian-China relationship.
Our leaders, members and supporters, I urge all of us to remain steadfast in advancing the ideals of our great party, promoting democracy, fostering development and empowering Nigerians at home and abroad.
During a brainstorming session, the stakeholders took time to underscore the progress achieved under the APC at both national and sub-national levels, with a call to rally around the president for more dividends of democracy across the country, as well as his foreign policies, which are fast yielding results. Ali Dalori appreciated APC governors, Northeast governors, and Borno State Babagana Umar Zulum for the extraordinary feats achieved in security and other critical sectors of the economy.
It is a great honor to be here today to inaugurate the APC China Diaspora Chapter. This is a proud and historic moment for our great party as we expand our presence and promote our connections with Nigerians across the globe.
The achievement of this government is having an effect in the whole country, that people are preferring to come and join the APC and make sure that Asiwaju succeeds. Because even those governors in the PDP and other parties that are not camping, they are already making commitments and promises that they are going to support Asiwaju.
Dr. Siraju Yakubu lauded Diko Umaru Rada of Katsina for his exemplary leadership and commitment to security, economy, health, and digital infrastructure.
The achievement of State and federal government alone, it is also other APC states, the economic stability that has been achieved.
As months, weeks, days, hours, minutes, and seconds wind down, the renewed hope is penetrating near and far into the fabrics of those who appreciate the revealing results beyond just a working document, but staunch realities.
All right, now, jealousy, they say, can be a dangerous spark capable of igniting the most tragic flames. Now, that tragic spark may have played out in Daura local government area of Katsina State, in northwestern Nigeria, where a domestic misunderstanding turned fatal. As 23-year-old housewife Rabia Labaran is alleged to have stabbed her co-wife Zainab Lawal to death, following a disagreement believed to have been fueled by jealousy and unresolved tension in their household. The incident, which occurred in the heart of Daura, has sent shockwaves through the community, leaving family members and neighbors, as well as observers, grappling with the painful reality of her home shattered by violence. Suleiman Kudugi has a follow-up for Newsline.
Unfortunate incident occurred recently in Sabongari area of Daura following a misunderstanding between the co-wives. The husband of the two wives, Nasiru Yusuf, a businessman, disclosed that it was a mere domestic dispute between his wives, which later escalated into a fatal confrontation.
No one knew what had transpired until I witnessed the aftermath. I was the first person to see what had happened between them. I found the first wife, Zainab, lying in a pool of blood on the ground. When we entered the house, I saw the deceased lying in blood. Upon closer inspection, I confirmed that she was dead, with stab wounds to her throat and back.
We leave everything to the concerned authorities to do justice.
The police public relations officer, Katsina State Command DSP Abubakar Sadiq Kaliu, who confirmed the incident, discloses that the deceased Zainab Lawal was rushed to the Federal Medical Center Daura, where she was pronounced dead.
Investigation revealed that she sustained fatal injuries where she was stabbed about 3 times. The murder weapon, a knife, was recovered, and her co-wife Rabi'atu Labaran of 23 years old of the same address was arrested in connection with the unfortunate incident, and where she confessed that they had a little misunderstanding.
The suspect, Rabiatul Labaran, has been arrested, and the case has been transferred to the State Criminal Investigation Department for further investigation. Meanwhile, the body of the deceased Zainab Lawal has been laid to rest in Daura according to Islamic rites. She left behind parents, husband, and 4 children.
Now, Gary Keller once said, you simply can't effectively focus on 2 things at once. Well, one man looks to have defied all odds by excelling in field of sports, broadcasting, by beaming his lens on every action and telling the stories through his pictures. On the one hand, he became the action, the center of attraction, and all lenses were on him at the same time. Now, this is the story of Badmus Adeleke, who conquered the world of sports, photography, and shooting sports. Our sports correspondent, Badi Adeleye, caught up with him at the just concluded National Sports Festival in Ogun State and decided to dig deep into how he mastered 2 arts simultaneously.
Badmus Adeleke is a household name in shooting sports in Nigeria, and at the same time, his name rings a bell in the sports journalism circle in Nigeria. Right from childhood, he was always interested in so many sports and finally settled for basketball, which he actively participated in before he joined the Nigerian Television Authority as a sports cameraman.
5 years ago, may so rest in peace. He saw me at the NTA Victoria Line. He knows me as a sports person playing basketball. He said, what are you doing in news? Go back to sports. Come and meet me in sports. I started with Minasara, Elo, Mondele, Sharafa, Yusu, Akilo, Yebanji, so I worked with 2 of them.
Now, this is where the story gets interesting. Badmus covered so many events as part of the sports crew, but he was always drawn to shooting sport anytime he opened his camera lens to capture the shooters. He finally made his interest known to the coaches and officials, and after initially dismissing his weird interest for the sport, they finally gave him the golden chance one day to prove his mettle, which he grabbed with both hands.
You know, as the range boy to give me gun, they went to a meeting. So after shooting, the guy now took my target to the coach. So coach, see this, say, who should they see this man? I said, no. They can't be. They now came, okay, now give me another card to shoot. I said, They said I'm an award. From there, I was called to the training, and I made the national team in 3 weeks for the African Championship in Cairo, 1995.
Badmus became a household name in the sport and went ahead to win several medals, including gold, at national and international competitions, starting with his first National Sports Festival in 1998. Despite his success in the range, he refused to let go of his love for sports broadcasting.
So anytime I go to festival, I go with my camera. So I will shoot both camera and gun. About 2000, I had another responsibility, overall captain of Lagos State.
A complete gentleman, he understands the language of sports. He doesn't only participate, he helps propagate sports. As a broadcaster, when you talk of cameramen with vision, with ability to read the moment, he understands it all.
Badmus is now dedicating most of his time to raising future stars for the sport, leading the Lagos shooters to the range. One might again think that 30 years after he took the pistol, he would have forgotten broadcasting. Shockingly, the answer is no.
Carry everything. Even as I am now, I have a channel on YouTube. I'm still creating some visuals for. So, but the kids, most of the kids here, they are champions now, who are my athletes.
Badmus, a true sportsman and broadcaster, is clearly a jack of 2 trades who has mastered both.
All right, once a broadcaster, always a broadcaster. And I remember the good old days when the best part of my school was, singing, "Now the days over, night is drawing near." I'm sure Jude Ojo, I know you're watching, and many of you can still hum the whole song with your eyes closed, or at least mumble it after a long day. Now that was the original sign-off before phones and TVs got theirs. Besides, it's a perfect and subtle reminder that the day's hustle is done and it's time to wind down. But before we go, about that joint finance account, people have been debating forever who loves money, whether men or women. Some say men spend like they're on a mission. Others say women could teach classes on shopping. But I align my view with the wisdom of Lana Turner. A successful man is one who makes more money than a woman, of course, who finds a successful man. So, like I said, I'll just again align my, reasons with Socrates, who says, "Man, know thyself." Good night.